All right, what's going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to rebirthedu.com. I'm your host, Kendrick, aka Also the Great. We're back again with the next installment of the Cashflow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, my homie, at least in my mind, right? So right now, we're gonna skip a couple of chapters, mostly because the next two chapters are a little bit of repeat of the same stuff you've heard before about you becoming the person that you need to be in order to get rich. In actuality, the next chapter would be how do I get rich, right? And it's mostly about the same stuff. You need to be a different person from what you already are. You need to make that move into the B and I quadrants so you can get where you need to go. So we're going to skip ahead to chapter 10 because this one is something that you cannot skip. It's going to help guide you on your path to financial literacy and financial independence, right? And wealth, because that's what we want, right? So this chapter is called Take Baby Steps. Chapter 10, Take Baby Steps. And this one's crucial. In actuality, I had a conversation with my mentor this morning. Shout out Anton Daniels. And I was telling him something that I was looking to get into, and he had to slow me down. He's like, "Yo, you trying to do too much. You need to focus on one thing. Just get one thing done." And it really made this chapter ring home again. That's why I enjoy going over these books that I've already read before, because it's good to get that repetition and get some of that refresher course going on. Because I've read a lot of books. And part of the issue is maybe I've just taken in too much information instead of just sticking with a smaller amount, focusing on that and then mastering that. So, hey, shame on me, but I'm learning. That's the whole point of what we're doing, why we're doing it, is so that you can learn with me, right? So you can see it from the beginning. You can see my pitfalls. You can see my shortcomings. You can see my successes, whether they're small or big, and you get to rock with me through this whole process. And I would love for you to join me in this process. But if you don't, hey, that's on you. I'm out here trying to give you the information that I'm learning, give you a little bit of a look into my life, so you can see it happen from the beginning. So 10 years from now, when, I'm doing fantastic and I'm doing well, you can look back on it. I'll never delete these videos. These videos are always going to be here. They're not going anywhere because I'm chronological? Man, I don't know. I'm vlogging all this stuff so that I can look back at it and just see the progress, man. And you can do it too, right? So especially if you're down and out and you're trying to figure out, yo, I can't get the success that I want to get. Hey, man, you can see it. You can see me going through the same things you're going through, right? So let's just get to it, right? Taking baby steps. You got to walk before you run in anything you do. Okay. How do you eat an elephant? Right. The answer to that is one bite at a time. It's the only way you can do it. Maybe you're trying too much with too little. And that's usually what happens with a lot of people. When we decide to go on a diet or exercise, what do? Most people, they go to the extreme. They'll go to the gym and they'll blast it. You know what I'm saying? And they'll go super strict on their diet. And then about after a week, man, some of that fatigue kicks in, that mental fatigue, the stress, oh man, I'm not getting the results that I want. And then when you start stressing out, you go right back to what you was doing, which is probably nothing, and also eating the wrong things. And that's what got you in the situation that you're in, right? So it can be overwhelming to try to run a marathon tomorrow and you haven't done anything to get that training that you need to move forward, right? So it doesn't necessarily start with you in a full sprint. It starts with that first step. And what Robert Kiyosaki prefer you do is take a baby step as opposed to just a long stride. Take that baby step, little bitty action items that you can achieve daily in the direction that you want to go, right? Just think about how we learn to walk as babies. And this is something they talk about in the book as well. We learn to walk by falling down. Whether we learn to walk or ride a bike, we learn by falling down, making the mistakes. And that's how we get better. We make little adjustments from taking those little baby steps, falling on our little butts, and we figure it out. We feel it out by doing it, right? And unfortunately, this is not taught in school, right? If you've been through all the way through high school and college, this is one aspect that you are not taught. In actuality, you are punished by making mistakes. And this is why you have to unlearn that mental process and learn how to think like somebody on the right side of the quadrant that is successful, that's already done it, and they do this consistently on a daily basis. This is very, very difficult. You have been taught your entire life that if you make a mistake, there are consequences to this mistake that can be dire. You can get all the way to the end of the semester. You could have spent all your time doing the best that you can and get all the way to the end of the semester where you take these finals and the finals take up a large chunk of your grade. You flunk them and now you have failed. In 2 hours, you failed. All those months of schooling that you went into, it's out the window. You got to start over. Might cost you some money, might cost you some more time. Who knows, right? But you've been taught that if you don't get it right, you're a failure. That's not how life works. Life works by you going through it, learning from the small mistakes that you make. This is why it's crucial that you take baby steps so that when you do make mistakes and you are learning, it's not destroying your life. If you run into this super fast and you're like, yo, I heard this about this stock and let me get every penny I got because I got to do something now. Kenny told me I got to do it right now. Robert Kiyosaki, I got to do it right now. Every single person that's telling me, man, I want the results that they got and I want them and I want it now. J.G. Wentworth, it's my money and I want it now. It's not how it works. You put all your eggs in one basket and you do it too fast, and then you make that mistake that you're probably bound to make anyway. Now you got nothing. And now you're worse than you were when you start off. That's why it's important to take baby steps, definitely starting with your knowledge, learning, but you definitely have to put in action steps. The next video that I'm going to put up on Tuesday, we're going to get right into those action steps, but we'll just wait. Hold on. We'll get there when we get there. Let's baby steps. Let's take this step first and just talk a little bit about making small, little bitty, tiny steps. Okay. So they did a study on people that were in poverty and no matter where they were, all over the world, in poverty, and worked their way to success, financial independence. And they found that these people, and this is coming from the book, the Cashflow Quadrant. I'm not exactly sure where they pulled this information from, but I'm giving you what's in the book. And they said they did a study on people in poverty that made it to wealth. And they said they had 3 characteristics that they all shared. No matter where they were from, what they looked like, whatever their circumstances were, they had 3 characteristics, right? And those were, they maintained a long-term vision and a plan. They believed in delayed gratification, and they used compounding, like compound interest we've discussed before. They used that in their favor. Now, So that means they made small sacrifices consistently, and because they knew that they were going to reach their goals eventually by staying disciplined and taking those small victories when they came. And they used the compounding to their advantage. Not just the compound interest as far as money goes, but the compounding on the knowledge, right? Learning a little bit at a time, applying it a little bit at a time, and over time, that knowledge consistently grows and grows and grows. Think about trying to take on the entire encyclopedia. Um, if you're young, you probably don't know anything about encyclopedias. I used to have that at the house, man. It's crazy, right? That was our Google back in the day. Go pick up that encyclopedia and learn something, right? Imagine trying to amass all that information and just grab it and stick it all in your brain at one time. It's an overload, and you can't process, and you'll probably learn nothing because it's too much for you to try to process at one time. But what if you broke it down and you were like, you know what? Hey, let me read the first, let me read a chapter. Let me read a chapter a day. Process that and just rock with that a day. You'll be able to retain that knowledge more, utilize it more. I have a ton of useless knowledge, right? And that's because of watching animal documentaries like for decades. I love the animal documentaries. I just think that I think animals are cool. I think we can learn a lot from them, and they're just cool to see other species out here, man, and how they interact with each other, man. But I've amassed a ton of knowledge just from little bits and pieces over time, right? If you would try to tell me everything about the animal kingdom in an hour, I ain't gonna get it. And so it's it's like you're telling me about aliens or something weird like that, right? So you want to be able to take advantage of that if you want to be the type of person that's going to be wealthy. So they also did some research on people that were wealthy and ended up being poor, and they shared characteristics that were pretty much the exact opposite, right? So we're looking at, they had a short-term vision. They had a desire for immediate gratification, right? And they abused the compounding, right? So whether that's the money, again, whether that's the knowledge because they want it now, these are the things that they kind of, these are all the characteristics that they share. Case in point, like I know it's popular right now, people talking about Dr. Dre's daughter and her situation, but you know what? This is pretty accurate, man. Dr. Dre was pretty much the exact opposite of her in regards to how he approached his business mind and what he did to become a successful billionaire like he is, or was. I don't know. I think he went through some kind of divorce. So I'm not sure how that played out. So maybe he's still a billionaire, maybe he's not. It doesn't really matter at this juncture. But her situation is the exact opposite. I think she got like 4 kids, couple baby daddies, one of them in jail or something like that. And she living out in the car doing DoorDash, struggling, right? Because she didn't want to have the discipline and take the time and learn about what her father was doing, take advantage of his resources, use the compounding in the right way, and get what would have been coming to her, and it would have been greater later. But you know, hey, it's my money, I want it now. And all the help that he was giving her, he had to cut that off because she wasn't utilizing it the way it was supposed to be used. So you went from rags to riches, right back to rags, because you didn't apply or even get the knowledge. I think you paid for like her college or something like that, and I don't know if she dropped out or man, don't make me lie. I don't know. I don't pay attention too much to things like that because that's not what this channel is about. I just wanted to give y'all an example of something that I'm sure you may have seen in the media, because when something happens with a guy like that, they show it, right? But it is what it is. But these type of people generally have the let's eat, drink, and be merry, man. Let's party. Let's go out here and have a good time. Let's enjoy life. Now, I'm not telling you there's anything wrong with enjoying life, but if you're not intentional with what you do, hey, you can end up being in the same boat, in the same car right next to her in the same parking lot. Y'all fighting over who's gonna get this DoorDash call. That's on y'all. So, in conclusion, with this chapter, Robert wants you to be content with taking small steps, right? Take the baby steps. It's very difficult to try to do this all at one time, right? So this is what Robert had decided to do with his baby steps. He's like, yo, I'm gonna read 1 or 2 books a week. Sometimes it's the same book, and he'll do an audio book, he'll let somebody read to him. So he'll do a couple of audio books a week. Sometimes it's the same book if it was really good, and that counts. He's doing the same book twice. So him and his wife would attend 2 seminars a year, and they would set daily attainable goals, right? And it wouldn't. In reality, it doesn't really matter what your goals are, the little short goals, right? You once you have your big goal and where you want to be, you know what direction you're going. You want to reverse engineer on what it's going to take for you to get there, and then set daily little goals that's going to let you get to the direction that you want to get in, right? If getting in shape is your thing, I'm sure when you work with a trainer, shout out to all the trainers out here helping people lose weight. Shout out to my homie holding me accountable, making me get in this work. And that's what we've done. We've set daily attainable goals. Every day I got to get in 200 push-ups. I got to get in 100 squats. And it hurts. And it hurt at first, but it's getting better and it's getting easier as the time goes on. And it's eventually going to be a routine to where I'm getting this in every day, and then I need to do something else to challenge myself. And we're headed in the right direction. Just little bitty goals that you can do every single day. Check that off the list. Okay. So one of the things that Robert would do when he was teaching, he would sit people down and they would play the Cashflow 101 board game that he made, that I have. I enjoy this game. This is actually my favorite game to play. You can play it online as well, but if you have access to the board game, I really recommend the board game first, because you have to fill out that financial statement. You have to do the math, obviously with a calculator. You have somebody sitting there next to you that's going to audit your work, and it's super dope. It's super, super dope. And it really changes your mindset so you can start thinking like people in the right side of the quadrant, okay? But here's the kicker on why he does this. It's because the games, although they're games, they reflect your behavior in real life. If you play these types of games, because this is sort of like Monopoly on steroids, okay? But if you play Monopoly and you're one of the people that's like, oh man, it take too long, it's a slow game, man, I don't have any time to dedicate to this, I want it to be quick, man. Why we can't play it in 15 minutes and move around? If you're that type of person, then you're that type of person with your finances or things that are going to improve your life. If you think you don't have time for it because, oh man, I gotta watch this video. Yo, Kendrick put out this video. It's 20 minutes long. It's 30 minutes long. Man, I ain't got time to listen to that. That's why your money look like it look. That's why your health look like it look. That's why your relationships are the way they are. Because you don't set time aside to better yourself. And your attitude toward it is, I need this instant gratification now. I need to feel good now. I don't want to make the sacrifices. I don't want to do what it takes. I don't have a long-term goal. I tell people I do, but I don't. I tell people I want to be rich, but I don't. My actions don't really show it. Your mentality towards this game is a reflection of your mentality towards bettering yourself at life. This is a game. This is a fun game. I guarantee y'all, a good portion of y'all that listen to this are not going to hit me up and play this game. If you live in my city, we can all get together. We can play this game, the board game. I have it. You don't have to purchase it, even though I recommend you do purchase it. It's kind of hard to find sometimes. Maybe you got to look at it on eBay or something like that. It's kind of tough to find at times. But the game is available online for free. Don't cost you a penny. You go to Rich Dad's website, you can play Cashflow Classic right there. And I can log on and I'll play it with you. We'll see. And if you hit me up and you want to play this game, hey, I'll shoot you some merch. I'll send you a t-shirt. We'll play the game, me and you, we'll chop it up. I'll send you some clothes. How about that? But we're going to see. I bet you a lot of y'all don't hit me up. And that's cool. That's really going to be on y'all. But that's going to reflect how you view your life and how you see your personal growth. You feel like you ain't got time for it. You got to go hang out right now. I got to finish this Netflix series. I'll binge Netflix for 6 hours, but I won't spend 30 minutes watching a video that could change or playing a 2-hour game that could change my life for the better. So, baby steps. Baby steps, take little bitty steps. Set daily goals, achieve those goals, right? And then when you tune in next week, we'll talk about some actual action steps, the 7 action steps that Robert has for you to get on the fast track to getting your life together and getting your money right. Okay? So, if you like the content, if you like me, if you rock with me, hey man, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out. We're dropping stuff on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. A little bit more in depth like it was today. A little bit maybe longer videos than what you're probably used to with me, but that's cool. Engage with me. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a dislike. Tell me I talk too much. I don't care. Doesn't really bother me too much. But get involved with your life and get involved with the betterment of yourself, right? And join me on this journey. Help me. If you don't want to help yourself, help me. Push me. Tell me I'm wrong. Or tell me I'm right. Or tell me keep going. Or tell me to shut up and stop. I don't care what you do. It's all on you. But interact with me, all right? Link in the description below to the website. You can access me directly. If you want to play cash flow with me, hit me up and let's get rocking. We can set up a time. I'll set up a lobby and we can get in there and we can play and have a good time and learn at the same time. All right. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Y'all be good, man. I'll holler at y'all.